6:15. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here's the news edited by Dulmin Samarasinghe and read by Ramesh Peris. First, the headlines. The strike launched by Government Medical Officers Association temporarily suspended. The railway station masters continue their trade union action. An MOU signed between Sri Lanka and Iran tea for oil barter agreement. The Colombo Stock Exchange sets a new record. The development programs in 14,021 Grama Seva divisions will commence from January. And in news overseas, dozens killed in Bangladesh ferry fire. And in sports, it's cricket, Ireland fights back to beat USA and draw T20 international series. And now the local news in detail. The strike launched by the Government Medical Officers Association has been temporarily suspended. They launched the strike based on 7 demands. They have suspended the strike following a decision taken today by the Central Committee of the GMOA. The Central Committee is scheduled to meet again on the 3rd of January. Patients face severe hardships due to the strike. The strike launched by railway station masters continued for the second day today. Nearly 200 trains have been run today. Our reporters said commuters travelled free of charge as tickets were not issued at any railway station. However, transporting of parcels has been suspended. The government of Sri Lanka and the Islamic Republic of Iran signed an MOU to formulate a scheme for the settlement of the outstanding payments from Ceylon Petroleum Corporation to the National Iranian Oil Company at the Foreign Ministry on Tuesday. The Minister of Plantation, Dr. Ramesh Pathirana, and the Deputy Minister of Industry, Mine, Trade of the Islamic Republic of Iran, Ali Reza Peymanpak, signed the MOU on behalf of their respective governments. The MOU aims to increase the sale of Ceylon tea to the Islamic Republic of Iran through the settlement of an outstanding payment for the oil purchases by the government of Sri Lanka. The Colombo Stock Exchange set a new record today as the oil share price index surpassed 12,000 points for the first time in history. The ASPI closed at 12,070.68 points at the end of trading today, marking an increase of 119.45 points from the previous day. More than 175 million shares were traded overall within the day, and the market turnover is recorded as 2.84 billion rupees. Meanwhile, the S&P SL20 closed at 4,255.63 points today, up by 0.14% from the previous day. Development programs in 14,021 Grama Seva divisions will commence from the first week of January. The chairman of the Colombo District Development Committee, MP Pradeep Undukoda, said identified projects have been submitted to the Finance Ministry for approval. He said livelihood development programs will be given priority. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Minister Kehili Rambukwala says that government has paid attention on solving problems presently by the Government Medical Officers Association. He mentioned this while attending a press conference today at the Ministry of Health. He pointed out another 7 trade unions in the health sector have opposed the strike. The health minister said government appreciates the services from consultant doctors to the minor workers in the health service. The Janata Vimukti Peramuna staged a protest this morning at Ginigathena town, urging the government to provide relief to the people by reducing fuel prices. They pointed out that people are facing severe hardships due to price increase of fuel and essential goods. Meanwhile, issuing a statement, the JVP has expressed its regret over the closure of consular offices in Cyprus, Nigeria and Frankfurt. A Christmas carol service organized by the Sri Lanka Navy Seva Vanita Unit and the Navy Christian Council was held at the Nelumpokana Mahinda Rajapaksa Theatre last evening. At the invitation of Commander of the Navy, Vice Admiral Nishanta Ulugetanna, and the President of the Navy Seva Vanita Unit, Chandima Ulugetanna, First Lady Mrs. Ayoma Rajapaksha attended the event as the chief guest. And that concludes local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhaloka Vedamahatmya.
The Ministry of Health says 323 more COVID patients were discharged from medical care today. This brings the number of recoveries reported in the country to 558,850. Sri Lanka has recorded 582,149 COVID patients so far. More than 8,700 patients are receiving treatment at present. Meanwhile, the death toll from the coronavirus outbreak in the country stands at 14,832. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalopa Vedamahatmya.
In Watchlight, ICTA recently announced that two of the SLBC Digital Social Impact Awards nominees have been shortlisted under the Young Innovators category at the World Summit Awards 2021. The World Summit Awards is a unique award system which recognizes and promotes local digital innovation to improve the society. Coco Remedy and Olai Shop were shortlisted under the Young Innovators category from over 377 candidates from 85 countries. The SLBC Awards ceremony is scheduled to be held in February 2022. And that came to you in Watchlight.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of
Christmas and New Year sales with CIB Janajaya Vasana has commenced. Valuable prizes and vouchers for CIB beers during the entire month of December. 20% discount will be given for bank cards and for gift vouchers. Visit CIB today as well.
Moving on to a bulletin of world news. First, the headlines. Dozens killed in Bangladesh ferry fire. France and Italy report record daily COVID cases. Omicron community transmission reported in Tokyo. And now the world news in detail. At least 37 people have been killed and about 100 others injured after a packed ferry caught fire in southern Bangladesh. The blaze on three-decked vessel started mid-river near the town of Jalalakanti as it sailed from the capital Dhaka to the town of Baguna. The number of casualties is likely to increase as many of the passengers have severe burns. As many as 500 people were reportedly on board the vessel. The daily new coronavirus cases in France and Italy have surged to record highs. France confirmed 91,608 new cases and Italy 44,595 on Thursday, the highest daily tallies yet for the two countries. French Health Minister Olivier Véran said the highly infectious Omicron variant is spreading in France as it is in other countries, and the number of the new cases are doubling every 2 days. He said the daily cases could exceed 100,000 soon. Authorities in Tokyo have reported the first apparent community transmission of the coronavirus Omicron variant in the Japanese capital. Tokyo Metropolitan Government officials say the infected person is a doctor who works at a clinic in Tokyo. They say the case confirmed today is the first known to involve an individual with no recent record of overseas travel and whose infection route is unclear. Back to the headlines of the world news. Dozens killed in Bangladesh ferry fire. France and Italy report record daily COVID cases. Omicron community transmission reported in Tokyo. And that concludes the World News Bulletin.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of
Christmas and New Year sales with CIB Janajaya Vasana has commenced. Valuable prizes and vouchers for CIB beers during the entire month of December. 20% discount will be given for bank cards and for gift vouchers. Visit CIB today as well.
Development News is brought to you by Let's take all out of the coconut tree and make the island thriving and prosperous. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070-400-1928.
Some of the Home Economy, Microfinance, Self-Employment and Business Development State Ministry has embarked on a program to popularize the products in Saubhagya production villages in China. Under this venture, the Secretary and Chief Research Officer of China's Neo-Chain Center, Liu Yang, participated in a fact-finding tour in several Saubhagya production villages in the Anuradhapura district recently. And that's Development News.
Development News was brought to you by the coconut tree is well grown in almost all the parts of the island. It is an exceptional source of extra income. The shell, the husk and almost all the parts of the coconut tree makes you money, providing you with an excellent extra source of income. It will also help to nourish the economy of the country. You will be guided with all necessary informations regarding the coconut cultivation, with the novel cultivation techniques and all other related and upgraded informations by the Coconut Research Institute, Lunavilla. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070-400-1928.
Moving on with sports news.
Moving on to sports news, it's cricket. Logan Tucker and Chris Camphor shown as Ireland recovered from Wednesday's bruising defeat to edge past the United States by 9 runs and draw their 2020 series in Florida 1-all. Ireland was all out for 150 as Tucker scored 84 after being dropped twice. The Americans started solidly in reply, recovering from the unfortunate run-out of opener Ryan Scott to reach 34 for 1 from the first 6 overs, but ended just short on 141 for 7. Camphor took 4 wickets for 25 runs. In other cricket news, the former India off-spinner Harbhajan Singh has announced his retirement from all forms of cricket. The 41-year-old last played for India in 2016, with his final game being for Kolkata Knight Riders in the Indian Premier League in April 2021. He took 417 test wickets, 269 in one-day internationals and 25 in 2020 matches in 367 games for India. And that's sports news.
For all foreign currencies remitted through NSB based on the US dollar value, 10 rupees more per dollar, plus more gifts. Until 31st December 2021, NSB, the safest place for your money.
Business news sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Indian carrier Indigo is set to operate 4 flights per week to Colombo from Trichy from January 10th. The long-pending Trichy-Colombo-Trichy service of Indigo has been welcomed by the travel fraternity. The flights will be operated on Monday, Wednesday, Friday and Sunday. And that's business news.
Business news sponsored by
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB You Trust.
Economic news, courtesy of
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
The headline inflation increased to 11.1% in November 2021 from 8.3% in October 2021. Meanwhile, on an annual average basis, National Consumer Price Index increased to 6.2% in November 2021 from 5.7% in October 2021. Inflation was driven by monthly increases of prices of items in both food and non-food categories. Food inflation increased to 16.9% in November 2021 from 11.7% in October 2021, while non-food inflation also increased to 6.2% in November 2021 from 5.4% in October 2021. And that ends Economic News. The weather report is next.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
The weather report.
Finally, moving on to the weather report, the Met Department says mainly fair weather will prevail over most parts of the island. There is a possibility of ground frost in some places in the Nuwara district at the early hours of the morning. Slightly cold weather in the night and early morning is expected over the most parts of the island during next few days. Misty conditions can be expected in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central, north central, southern and Uva provinces during the morning. And that ends the weather report. And in this news broadcast, a recap of the main news headlines. The strike launched by the Government Medical Officers Association temporarily suspended. The railway station masters continue their trade union action. An MOU signed between Sri Lanka and Iran, tea for oil barter arrangement. The Colombo Stock Exchange sets a new record. The development programs in 14,021 Grama Seva divisions will commence from January. In news overseas, dozens killed in Bangladesh Ferry fire. And in sports, it's cricket. Ireland fights back to beat USA and draw T20 International Series. And that concludes this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. And back to Heshma to keep you entertained this Christmas Eve.